There it is. Hello, everybody. I think I have the stream going. Let me make sure. Yep, I can hear myself. I don't think I sound like a monster. I think everything is good. There we go. Can you see me all right? I have it a little zoomed in here, but I think I'm good. You can see Grookey, or as I know him, Bradford. And we're ready to go. So you guys, I am Darby Hallman from Nerds at Large, and if you have paid attention to any of our content on our Nerds at Large gaming podcast, you know that I am at an absolute fever pitch excitement for Final Fantasy VII. It's my favorite game of all time. And this remake really just seems to be doing everything I could ever hope for this game. It's really, legitimately, it's hard to believe. Like, even with the game only being a month away, even though I've played the game now with the demo, it's honestly hard to believe that this exists. It's just absolutely insanity. But now with a month, now that we're just about a month away from the actual game dropping, I think it's time to do a replay. I think it's time to do yet another replay through this Midgar section. I've beaten the entirety of Final Fantasy VII twice, but I've probably done this Midgar section probably like 8 to 10 times in my life or something stupid like that. I adore this game, but I kind of want to go back through Final Fantasy VII, the original, and I'm just going to play through the Midgar section. Probably several parts here because I kind of want to go through, take my time, and just analyze the original game through the context of the remake, and kind of just go through and look at what could they change, and what, certain parts of the game am I super excited to see fleshed out and everything. And because they're making just Midgar into an entire game in its own right, so that means there's just a lot of stuff that is going to be like so much more. There's going to be so much more to a lot of these sections, like sections that were just one or two screens that you walked past and very simple dialogue and everything in the original could be entire emotional beats and story beats and everything. So I'm excited, and I think that I could really get something out of this. This is something I was going to do anyway, but I thought, hey, I might as well do a stream and let people watch me go through it, and I think that could be a lot of fun. I am going to do the Switch version because it has the fast forward and the skipping battles and stuff. I don't know how much I'm going to use that, but I probably will use it some, because I'm not really doing this playthrough to have the real experience. I'm kind of doing it so that I can slow down and look at all the little details and think about how they're going to be remade. So I don't want to necessarily worry about dying and doing all that. The get out of jail free card's fine, because this is going to be a very casual playthrough. Just listen to that music. Let me make sure that music's not too loud for you guys. It probably needs to be louder. I'll kind of have to change the audio levels on the fly. Alright. That should be a little better. Yet so much of my love for Final Fantasy VII revolves around the soundtrack. Honestly, a lot of my favorite games in general revolve around iconic and memorable soundtracks. I just think the soundtrack is just so important for a game, especially an RPG like this, because there are just moments in Final Fantasy VII that would not have anywhere near the emotional impact, and I would not care about the characters as much if it wasn't for the freaking just instantly iconic, awesome themes that are tied to the characters in these different locations. That's a lot of what I remember, and the locations and the setting and the soundtrack in this game are just so perfectly married. Like, even like, because Final Fantasy VII is simultaneously is like serious sci-fi grungy thing, but also wacky as hell game. It's like does both of those, and the soundtrack reflects that. You have this like steampunk or whatever, like Blade Runner-esque, like sci-fi hard-hitting grungy sound, but then you'll go to the Chocobo farm and it's like doop doop doo, you know, it's like really happy-go-lucky music, and both of them fit. Like Final Fantasy VII is just a uniquely weird as hell game, and I adore it, and I'm excited to once again experience it again. So let's get it. Do it. So I had actually, like, up here, I had already started replaying once in 2019, so it really hasn't even been that long ago that I did this, but I want to feel very fresh. I want to feel very like in tune with this stuff going into the remake. So I'm excited. And this actually down here, I played just the #1 reactor bombing mission right before the demo came out. So I'm all about replaying this game. But we're gonna start a new one. Can I delete this one? Whatever, we'll just start this new one. Alright. Duh. What am I thinking? Alright. Let's go. In this intro, I mean, like, obviously we've already seen the full intro of this, and I really do think they do this justice, because I think this is one of the most hype intros in video game history, and they expanded upon it so much in that beginning. You see, like, the upper plate of Midgar that we never really got a great image of, but then, and you think, okay, they're doing something new, but then they go into this, and then it's straight up just like their original intro. So it's like, again, new stuff, but they're not tampering with the old stuff. I love the philosophy. Just the, I mean, it's so cool because Final Fantasy VII back in 1997 is basically what this remake is now. Like, back then it was this technical impossibility that people are like, what the hell, how is this big giant world like this? And like, we're getting the same experience with the same game now, where it's just today as like technologically impressive as the 97 was then. It's just, there's something special about this game. I mean, it's pouring a lot of money into it, but jeez, that music. Alright, gotta get our potions. It's just cool when you think about, if you've played the demo, what just this section looks like. Like, compare this, I'm sure you've seen the screenshot comparisons of this to this hallway and the other one, and it's just like twice as big. The lighting is absurd. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd how they've taken things that you recognize but completely change the like scale. It's crazy. And I love the battle system too, because it really it has kept the feeling of like waiting for the ATB gauge and then performing actions, but it also like perfectly married that with a more action type gameplay where like the positioning matters, and it doesn't really feel like either part of the combat system is lesser than the other. They're both very much needed in order to not get killed, because it's surprisingly hard from just the one demo I played and what I heard from other things. Alrighty. Just all of these areas in comparison is crazy. What if I want to talk to Wedge? Come on, man. Even that whole conversation, like the same thing gets across in the demo, but it's so expanded. Like Jessie's facial expression, she's like, well, he's got balls on this one, what's his name? It's just like they all have a lot of character. They're kind of, you believe that they're this kind of, you know, rough, basically terrorist group. And they nailed Barrett's very over-the-top and passionate type personality, but it makes sense in the world. Like, I'm glad they didn't like tone him down any, but they also made him, you know, you can already tell. You know, Barrett goes through some very emotional stuff in the main game, and I'm very excited to see how that goes down in this one. And just already seeing the monster designs, like when you've seen it's all these same people from here, like that dog thing, and you actually see like the antenna, you see the veins and the like how it connects to his body and everything. It's unreal how they went back and looked at these models and they're like, okay, what did we really want this to look like, but we couldn't make it happen in 1997. Because that's the coolest thing in this remake, and it's a lot of the same people who worked on the original game making it now, combined with people who grew up, like people my age and older that grew up loving this game. And it really does seem to be like, this is what we always wanted this game to look like if we had the capability, which is the coolest thing. And I like that it seems like from what people are saying from Chapter 2 and beyond, they actually dive deeper into like the repercussions of what you're doing. Because like while you're fighting for a good cause and you're trying to fight this corrupt company, you're essentially committing terrorism and you are like killing people or putting people's lives in danger for that cause. And from what people have said of like Chapter 2 especially, it actually shows you, you know, people in the streets with buildings on fire, they're running, they're in, you know, they're scared and everything. And it's cool that it's actually like making you come to terms with what you're doing. It's not just, oh, you're the good guys and that's it. You know, it's more complicated than that, which is how it should be. And I don't think this original game really captured that very well. You kind of just move on, and you're never not the good guys for the most part. And I don't get when people, apparently some people don't like Barrett's voice actor in the remake. That's crazy to me because I think he is like legitimately perfect for the role. that he nails so much. Like, Barret is one of my favorite characters with just how over the top he is. And they really nailed it. He's like over the top, but he's not just a cartoon character, because he's stuff like, yeah, stuff like this I want to, in the remake, kind of get more of a sense of Avalanche. Like, I think Avalanche is always meant to be, it's something bigger than just Barret, Jesse, Wedge, and Tifa, and Biggs. It's meant to be like bigger than them, but honestly in this game you never really get that sense. You really just get this team and that's about it. But there's things like this they like reference. Think about how many people risked their lives just for this code. Like, I hope that by the time we're done with this game, we really do get a sense of like how much went into Avalanche's what they're doing. And spoilers for a few seconds, just mute it or something or whatever. Whenever the Avalanche members die in this game, I really think, already just from the demo I played, I think it's going to be so much more impactful than it was in the base game. In the base game it's sad, but you really had not spent much time with them. You didn't get a big sense of the non-party members of Avalanche. And I feel very confident that that's going to be different in this one. And I think that's one of the best like emotional character development ways that they can improve. And I'm just happy that I'm confident that this remake is going to improve parts of the Final Fantasy VII. I mean, this game is always going to be great and always going to be something that we go back to. They're two different experiences. The one doesn't replace the other, but this remake is going to do some things better than this game, which is like not something that I necessarily expected to say. It's a pretty pleasant surprise. And that elevator scene, I mean, in the remake demo, Barret has this like whole speech that's like 3 times as long as that. I'll try to get through this first reactor mission a little faster, since everyone's already seen this in the remake. Because of that demo, I might start skipping battles some. Because a lot of what I want to refresh myself on is like Sector 7. That's honestly probably one of the places I'm most excited to see, is when we get past this bombing run mission, you get to Sector 7. Because I just remember as a kid spending so much time there, and like really enjoying just like living in that world for a while, and just kind of seeing the very interesting characters, people in economic hardships and a bunch of other things in there. And if this game has any open world, just open environments, I think that like Sector 7 and Wall Market are going to be the 2 main ones. I think the remake is going to be pretty linear. And everything everyone's played has been linear. And honestly, in the base game, Midgar is very linear. I think it's going to be linear with some open environments, like Sector 7. I think Sector 7, when you get there, that's when the side quest system is going to open up, and there's going to be side quests that you can go do throughout Sector 7, and that'll probably be the beginning of that. And that will be where it's kind of open. Like, you'll get Tifa and Barret in your party, and it'll be like, this is your main objective, but you don't have to do that yet. You can go do all these side things. And same thing in Wall Market, and maybe even some other places that we're not even thinking about. No, don't quit. Let's go down. Let's just save over this one. And for some reason, I had never even really gathered that there's like a pool of Mako down there. Or Mako. I honestly don't even know which one I used to say, but I'm going to say Mako. I like Mako better. I never really realized there's a pool of Mako down there until the demo, but like now, like you see it, you see the glow and you saw the things down there, but in the demo, it's like right there on you and you see this giant like sea of Mako and it's just like, I'm flipping back and forth. It's really cool. It's... Again, there's things that it was always meant to be that way, but they really enhanced it for this. I'm also interested to see if in the base game because it gives you that choice between 30 minutes and 20 minutes. Is that actually going to matter in the base game, or is it just Barrett tells you something different? Like in the demo, it gave you a special scene with Sephiroth at the end if you pick 30. Don't know about the base game. And yeah, I know I'm like stopping all the time, but this is kind of what I'm going to be doing. I'm playing this for research purposes. I'm like, my mind's going to of what could be different. All of those like flashback scenes are going to be a lot cooler in the remake. You're going to actually, because they feel like they have to set up Sephiroth since this is just one game on its own. And I think it's going to be a lot cooler than just like text and that stuff. You're going to actually see things. And they've already pretty much confirmed, or we've seen it, like at least in Maximilian Dude's stream, he showed it. You had a flashback and you actually saw first person with Cloud as a kid in Nibelheim, which is definitely not something that you saw in the base game, not this early. Here it comes! I honestly don't even remember really what search scope does. I guess it just locks it on for his big attack. It is just absolutely insane how much more, like how much bigger of a deal this boss fight is in Remake. I mean, that was really them showing like, hey, this is, if you're worried about this not being a full game worth of content, look at what we did with just this boss fight in just this first reactor thing. There's still the attack while its tail's up. You're not supposed to do that. Weird translation, and I did it because I'm an idiot, but it's wild. You can absolutely see how... Whatever, I'm gonna do it. You can absolutely see how they're gonna make a full game of all this just by this boss fight being like, when you get done with that demo, it's like, whew, I did something. It's stressful. Wrong button. Well, we cheating. I'm cheating, boys. Sorry. Accidentally cheat using the thing. I meant to do that. Speed up. Big shit. beat the thing with just like a few clicks on the button, as opposed to the other one where I'm like dodging around like, oh shit, what the, oh my god, I'm freaking up. Minutes to detonation. Oh god. See, remake is for babies because you get a full 20 or 30 minutes, whereas this gives you 10. I bet people back in 1997, when they saw like the timer, I bet like they got stressed. They're like, oh god, oh no, what's gonna happen? I mean, I probably did too as a kid, even though you'd have to work pretty hard to take that much time, I think. But especially when they went into battle and they're like, wait a minute, the timer's still going? And yeah, I think even if you pause the game and you come back in, the time never stopped. I'm sure that stressed someone out a lot. Y'all don't have time to celebrate. You just set a bomb. Y'all are not very good at this. Alright, let's get through this bombing mission, because this is not really the thing that I'm trying to see here. Cause we already done know all this. Already done know it. This is such like a dumb, corny moment in here. It's like, my leg's stuck. Whereas in the remake, it's like this very dramatic thing. Here, it's just like, oh, she stepped in a hole. It's like, all right, well, you just like, at least I got the feeling like, okay, well, Jesse's an idiot in this game. Whereas remake, it's this crumbling thing that falls on her, and you want to protect her because she's fucking awesome in the remake, and she's very thirsty for Cloud, which, I mean, you know, fair enough. Who isn't? So it's already those moments of just like, maybe that whole badass like craziness is what they were going for in this, but like it comes across as just, oh, Jesse's just a bumbling idiot. And I'll be 100% honest, when I first played this game as a kid, I don't even know if I realized that Jessie was a girl. I doubt I'm the only one. Now in hindsight, I mean, that's kind of obvious. I think I got it eventually, but I don't think I realized immediately. I mean, look at the model. Nothing quite distinguishable about the Lego people. And like, what stopped Jesse there? It's like, yeah, in this game, it's just like, Jesse just keeps falling over. The fuck? Okay, so starting here is where it's crazy. We are already at the point where the demo is ended. That was like very fast. But from this point onward is where we have not seen, so super excited. this point, I think Jesse and Wedge are both bumbling idiots. Everyone's bumbling idiots. Who cares about these people? Whereas, flash forward to the remake and we're sitting here like fucking crying. I want my money, dude. Look at that Lego, man. It's crazy that, like, this right there, that was revolutionary back in the 90s. Back when I was 2 years old. That's what I'm actually kind of young for Final Fantasy VII to be my favorite game of all time, but my uncle, who's obviously a lot older than me, it was his favorite game, and he he let me have his PS1 copy, and I played it when I was super young and absolutely fell in love, even though the games I was playing at the time looked better than this. But I think that's kind of a testament to this game. Like, this game was not technical powerhouse crazy fantasy for me. It was actually, it looked like an old game, but I just loved it so much because it's so much fun and has such an awesome vibe that I think it's a testament to that. Alright, I mean, Tifa is best girl. And I already have another playthrough that I'm planning to go all the way with, where I'm choosing Aerith just because I haven't done that before. I played the game twice through and picked Tifa both times. So I already have, this is probably not going to be the playthrough that I end up finishing the game with, the other one is. So in this one, since this is only to replay Midgar, I'm going to stay true to what I believe Tifa, we doing it. So, you better get out of here. But now everyone's like, you know, Aerith, Tifa. Nah, the real answer is Jesse. It was there right in front of us. We just didn't know. And yeah, I guess we have seen shots of this fountain now. Like, I know they had that gameplay thing back in 2015 that kind of pretty much seems like it was fake. I mean, it was the year they announced that they had no game at that point. So we already saw it then, but we've seen it since then. Now we've seen this area. But I'm excited because, like, this area is cool, and just to see like this like city square but like completely wrecked from the aftermath of this would be a lot of fun. Propaganda. So yeah, stuff like that. Like, there's like, yeah, Avalanche has put out things like counter messaging and propaganda and stuff. That's cool. Stuff like that I'm so excited to see in this remake. You've already, just from the demo, looking at the walls, you saw like Shinra propaganda and a bunch of other things like that. Just the like environmental world building that I am going to eat up in a way that I don't do in any other game because I care so much about this. Like, I don't normally play every side mission, look at every wall, read every paper like in any other game. But you bet your ass in VII Remake, I am reading all that shit. Every bit of it. See ya. Peace. Later, nerds. Yeah, we've seen clips of everything like leading up to this, to him jumping on the train and running away. I haven't seen it like straight through or anything. I want to see them talking about like, oh, Cloud's probably dead and they bust in here, and that's just, again, gonna be more impactful this time. Cloud. The cheesy one-liners, I'm here for it. He's so cool. He's so cool. Everyone wants to be him. And Barrett is allowed to curse now, you guys. We did it. We're letting Barrett say actual curse words. Are we gonna see everyone jump into the camera this time? I just like Jessie's characterization a lot more in the remake, where like, yes, she's very much flirting with Cloud, but she's a lot more of a badass, where in this one I feel like, oh, she's just like the soft carrying woman of the group basically, but in this one it's like, no, she's a badass you don't want to fuck with. I actually call it the train graveyard. And I'm here for like the CD train going, like, just God, there's just gonna be so much awesome environmental stuff where you just already just in the trailers we've seen, when you see people like going about their life in the background, it's just, it looks like freaking Red Dead Redemption 2 as far as the level of just the world being alive. And seeing that happen to my favorite video game setting of all time is just unbelievable. Oh, I want to talk to bald guy. Bald guy, where is he? Oh, I just noticed the Barrett like looks over at him. Yeah, things like that are gonna be really cool. I do what I want. I got a giant sword. I'm sure something like this will be here too, but like here it's just this like static image like this. I'm sure in the remake it's gonna be like this whole video, probably like a Shinra propaganda thing too, but it's gonna like go through the whole like model, and that's really cool. That's cool. course, Jesse. You gotta support our main girl, Jesse. He's saying that while snoring. It's a lot to say while snoring. That's the really cool thing too, is when we are in the slums, like we haven't really gotten to see that because we were up in the reactor, but when we're in the slums underneath the plate, and the fact that you'll be walking around, you can like just tilt the camera up and see the top of the plate. That's going to be really, really cool. Like, just that visual is not something they could really like. I feel like this original game just really couldn't capture that sense that like you are underneath this giant plate, and imagine that like, yeah, it's never daytime or nighttime, you never know when it is, and people just have to live there because they have no other option. They're like that poor. That's just like, I'm really excited to see that vibe. To have damn pizza. Oh, the nostalgia, dude. I just can't. Every time I see any of these areas, I'm just picturing it in complete HD and all this other stuff. Oh boy. I'm excited for Jeff to do it too. Even though Jeff's not as much of a newcomer as I make it out, because he's played the midgar. He's played everything that's going to be in this game, but he hasn't played the rest of the game. Huh, I didn't know you could go over here. Interesting, I didn't know that. Wonder if I'm at the right level for this. That's interesting, I didn't know you could go into these areas right now. The game, like, Final Fantasy VII definitely goes for some, like, cool emotional beats. It's just, like, this game was so hard to make, and the localization was done so in such a rushed manner that like a lot of lines just don't really like add up or make sense or feel right. It's definitely a janky like localization effort, and it's something like it is kind of miraculous that we all love Final Fantasy VII as much as we do, because in a lot of ways it's pretty like busted and weird, but that adds to the charm. But also I'm really excited to see the remake kind of actually take those. Okay, you can only really go here. You can just go here and get in a fight, basically. I'm excited to see the remake actually like take those emotional beats and like do them in a way that actually makes sense for like American audiences, because when I watch some of those remake dialogue between each other, it feels like a damn movie or even like an Uncharted game or something. Like that level of like the characters making sense. Okay, so you can go deep in here. Interesting. I don't know if it's worth like doing this. That's kind of interesting. It's probably no point. You can like, that'd be funny if you could like come up and the Don Corneo's mansion from here. Like this early in the game, that would be pretty wild. But I highly doubt it. Yeah, and that's why like this game is always gonna have its place, because like that kind of like wacky, kind of not really well translated thing kind of adds to its charm, but like the remake's going to be really cool for a completely different way. Look at this scene, is like, what? Okay. What is that dialogue? Oh, we gotta make our menu something crazy. Alright, what are we doing? We have hot pink. We gotta make a crazy swirly thing. We got purple. I'm saying the same thing, obviously. Alright, purple. How 90s can we make it? Oh, what do we need to finish this out? Probably something green. It's an ugly ass menu we got going on here. Or we go pink. Jesus Christ. It's pretty hideous. It's pretty ugly. We gonna be climbing up that, shooting people later. I hope that's not hard to read. Alright, I'm actually gonna take a quick break real quick, but I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna stream, hoping to stream, you know, hour and a half or something, maybe 2 hours today, but quick break. I'll be right back. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm gonna put up a placeholder thing. Just skip ahead a little bit until you see me back. It shouldn't be too much, so be right back. Okay, hello. And welcome back. Alright. Let's continue. Why don't we? Alright. Feeling good? Let's go. Okay, so here is where I am super excited to see. I don't know, the Sector 7 slums just like has such a I don't know, guys. I don't know if I can deal with this. I might have to go back to default. Is there a way to just default? I think we might have to go with one solid color at least. This is a little much for me, if I'm being completely honest. Go completely black, edgy. I don't know, that default blue is pretty good, but we can go with the purple. Alright, I promise I'll stop after this. I just like, I saw that and I was like, I don't know if I can do this whole thing like this. I don't think I can do it. I wish there was just a copy and paste option or like do all option on the window color. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I keep hearing. Sorry guys, almost done. I just couldn't, just can't. Close enough. Oh, head that way. They're all slightly off, but we can work with that. We can work with that. Alright, but yeah, the Sector 7 slums, I'm just super excited to see this area like fully realized because it, I don't know, it just has a very homey feel to me, even though it's kind of sad and depressing and like slummy. But I think in this remake, it's going to be so much bigger because here it's really just like these walls are right here. It's not like there's not a ton of area to go around in, and I think, wow, I didn't know you could come out down here. I think it's going to be very expansive in the remake, which I am very excited for. And this is where I really do think that the game's going to start opening up a lot for side quests. We'll see Chadley. They've tweeted about this random kid named Chadley. It's the worst name. I was just sitting here drinking, watching my news by myself, and all of a sudden I get kicked out of the damn store. What's up with that? What's up with that? I'm blitzed. I'm gonna go around and start telling people that I'm so blitzed right now. Jeez. I just love them homemade cocktails. They sure do creep up on you. You know, that's what everyone does when they're drunk, is this, right? I think this is the international, this is drunk. I think so. Whoa. Sad. Explosions, explosions. She's like, yeah, they killed a bunch of people. Little kid's like, hell yeah, that's cool. Open up. I know in there is all just like the tutorial stuff for the most part, which that won't be in there. It's very like very not fitting. But just like these like grummy shops in here, like I'm excited to see, and I hope they still have like kind of weird character things. And like the guy like threatening you, be like, you better buy something or it's gonna be bad. That's kind of stuff I want. You got to protect yourself before you wreck yourself. Did he actually take my Gildo? Probably. Anyone talk to me must be a novice. Yep, that's me. No, Did you just shoot me? Is this Tutorialville up here? All right, kid, let me through. I think this is Tutorial Land. Or Dog Land. Ooh, juicy news. I don't want to buzz about that terror group happening, blowing up no more reactors on the surface. They say it's the anti-sim group. In reality, they say they're just out to kill as many people as they can. And yeah, this sort of thing where the people in Midgar think that you're just a bunch of crazy terrorists trying to kill everyone. Yeah, I wonder like just how big Avalanche is supposed to be. It's like really like I played obviously the original game a lot, and I don't really know. It's cool. It's interesting that we are gonna see, I think, a much better image of what Avalanche is supposed to be. All right, yeah, we're not. Let's just skedaddle and move on. All right, fine. Okay. In fucking seventh heaven, they look so damn good. The remake. Tifa's and like from what everyone who's played the game says, they like nailed Tifa's character, and it seems like it from the little bit I've seen. And it's weird because like Advent Children, some of the other ones kind of got it wrong. Like Tifa is really supposed to be like kind of the more shy and reserved one, where Aerith is kind of the more like out there, you know, people talking to everyone person. Let's have a drink with the boys. Marlene, don't be shy. It's weird that in this, like the scene doesn't move on until I guess you try to leave the bar, which is weird. You have to like do that. I hope there's an arcade cabinet that goes down into the thing. What would be cool is in the remake if you can play the arcade game that's on the thing. They're trying to make it into a full game. They need to do that. And let me drink this Mountain Dew right here. Cowards. Give me some hot. It's just like really all these dialogue things are just gonna like, I don't know, they're gonna mean a lot more. They're gonna be a lot more. I think they're gonna get the emotion that they were trying to get across. I mean, so much of Final Fantasy VII, the writing is really not that good or that deep. A lot of it is this music. I'm serious. I mean, I'm not trying to say it like makes up for a bad game, because I mean I think the game is still really good, and I think that you care about these characters, like the vibe that they were going for, they nailed so hard. But the music, Tifa's theme right here is just so much a part of it. Like this bar and this song are just like ingrained into my head as part of my childhood, and music is like everything to do with it. So you have that sign says Texas up there. Does Texas exist in the Final Fantasy VII universe? Oh, we gotta go back and look at this. Texas. Huh. Does the United States of America exist in Final Fantasy VII? Interesting question. Okay, so yeah, this goes along with it. Everyone's been saying in the demo, like, people are kind of upset because there was the change where, you know, it shows you blow up just like the reactor, like the computer or whatever in the reactor, and then Shinra themselves make the huge explosion, and it's like, oh my god, and then blame Avalanche. So people were mad because it's almost like a Han shot first type thing where they're trying to make us into less of the bad guy by making Shinra do that. But then I think like this, let's see if she'll say the same thing. Well, that's kind of different, but she said I didn't like that. She didn't. Jessie said she didn't mean for that explosion to happen. She's like, I made it how it told me to. Like, oh no, I must have done something wrong. So it's like, that's kind of showing me that that really was what they were going for this whole time in the original game, was that Shinra kind of did this, you know, that ties into that. They're like, Avalanche wasn't trying to make this big explosion. But yeah. Yeah, you definitely don't look it, Wedge. You look like a big, strong, steel-skinned man. Barrett going to watch Biggs across the room in the remake. You old skinny ass. Shucks. Dialogue's just very random. You're such, like, Cloud just has this persona of like such an arrogant bad boy asshole. But the beautiful thing is that he's actually kind of not. He's just a big old nerd. Is she like crying or something? I don't really get it. They're both bad options. I want to check on Biggs. I want to make sure he's alive. Game, let me check on Biggs. Did that say Cowboy Bebop? Does that arcade thing say Cowboy Bebop? It freaking looks like it. It's crazy. I think how can you can say that as the good Tifa option. Excited, very excited for this flashback in the remake. They're already flashing back to Nibelheim in the first 10 minutes of the game. Apparently, it's just not in the demo, but it's in the real game. So I can imagine this is gonna be a lot bigger too. I'm gonna join soldier. Yeah, the one place where the voice acting in the trailers was just straight up bad was definitely Cloud's child voice actor. I mean, it sounded like a 30-something-year-old man trying to do a kid voice. It was not good. Luckily, obviously, that's gonna be very little of the game, so not that big of a deal. What? And of course, the shooting star. And that's actually a meteor. It's coming for the Earth. Oh god! Look at this man. We got Barrett's stash. Stuff like that too. Like we'll go more into like Barrett's character. Like, that was a cool throwaway line with that money was from Marlene's schooling, but I feel like in this remake that could be even more impactful. You're just gonna get more of the sense of like people who are really struggling. I swear that says Cowboy Bebop. That's definitely says cowboy at the top. And it looks like a B for the bottom. What is the timing? Okay, I gotta see when Cowboy Bebop was put out. Hey, Cowboy So Cowboy Bebop first aired in 1998, and this was 1997, so don't think that would work, but I guess it was in development before then, probably during this, but unless Cowboy Bebop might be from, like, the name Cowboy Bebop might be from something else that I'm not familiar with. I don't know, but I swear it looks like Cowboy Bebop. Marlene, fix me a drink, Marlene. So that means that he like sneak in and sleep next to Tifa without her knowing. Is Cloud weirdo? No, we ain't going through materia tutorial. I bet in the remake they will probably make the Sector 5 bombing mission stand out more from the Sector 1-1 as well. Okay, I know a decent amount of it is exact copy in this game. Ooh, they bang. Childhood friend. I wonder if someone's renamed Cloud Childhood Friend or something. Alright, Sector 7 slums. So excited to see what it looks like. Will we be able to... Oh, what are you retarded? Oh no. That's two different times at least that they use the R word in here. Will we be able to go see Loveless? That is the question. That'd be pretty cool. All right, you know, I might call it there for this first one. I'm gonna do multiple parts. I'm gonna try to play this pretty often, and try to get through this first part. So I might call that for part one. But thank you guys so much for watching me play this. Really excited to like dive into the rest of the game, and you know, just think about the remake. Oh, I'm so excited! It's getting so close. It's imminent at this point, man. So excited. So thank you guys so much. Tune into our Nerds at Large Gaming podcast. We're recording the next episode, I guess like 132, whatever, tonight. And that's really exciting. We got lots of cool things to talk about. That posts every Monday. And check out Nerds and Dragons, which is our D&D podcast and the campaign that I am writing and running. And that posts every Friday whenever we're in an arc, and then sometimes we take a break in between arcs. So check that out. Really excited. And thank you guys for joining me. Peace.